Okay, I like it. I don't know if you're going to like it, but I like it. We have some very kind of fast-paced energy coming in with the Eight of Wands and the Chariot. However, it kind of feels like you want to take a break. It may be, and that's kind of very un-Gemini like. You guys usually like that fast pace. You guys move at that pace, right? You think at that pace, very much so. But it kind of feels like either and it's general, right? So it can work in two different ways. It can be your energy, or if someone's very central to your story, it can be their energy that's coming in. You're dealing with someone like that. But it almost feels as if with the Four of Swords, and I'll get to the Eight of Wands in a moment, the Four of Swords at the heart of your reading, this is someone who takes a break. They take a step back. It's a temporary pause. I mean, it's everything from a spa day to recovery after the flu, or, just an argument's happened or something. You've been doing some kind of healing work and you're taking a break. You're taking a step back to allow yourself to heal. What I always point out in the Four of Swords is the three swords that are up on the wall. Those are the Three of Swords, the card that comes before the Four of Swords in this suit. And those were in the guy's heart. So he's removed them. He's done the work that was needed. But of course he needs a rest after all of that work. And he has one sword left by his side. That is the Sword of Truth. So kind of feels like you've established your truth. You might have taken a break from something, like, put down your weapons. I'm not arguing anymore. I just need a break from this. And it kind of feels, and that's why I always say the Four of Swords, it's kind of counterintuitive. People think they have to keep fighting, struggling, going forward. Four of Swords, like, no, take a step back, allow the energies to settle, allow the dust to settle and see what else comes in. And boy, does stuff come in. We have the Eight of Wands as your underlying energy. Now, this can be communication. This can be, especially after a time of non-communication. If you've been going through this, this can be a temporary separation in a relationship. You can live in the same house and not talk to each other for a week. It can be that kind of energy. Or you've had time off work. But now this is dialogue, this is conversation, this is messages back and forth. These are new opportunities that come in. Especially for those of you that have been out of work, because the Four of Swords can show that, in between jobs. This can be new opportunities coming in. The pace picks up though. And that's why I say these two are opposing energies. This is rest. Nothing moves, nothing changes. Allowing healing in mind, body and spirit. This is like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Opportunities are coming in. Which wand are you going to grab? Let's go, let's do this. Now, we have the Star coming up in the past. Card for Aquarius. Some of you might be dealing with an Aquarius. So with the Star coming up in the past, it's whenever I see this here, this is people that have been just going on faith. Hope. That's the only thing that's been keeping you going, is faith, is hope. A new beginning of some kind that you wanted. Now, I'm going to say this, and I said this to Taurus as well, because they got this here. Sometimes, when we're dealing with some difficult situation, and you've dealt with it. I don't think you've avoided it. I don't think any of that. You've dealt with it. You have pulled out those swords from your heart. So good on you, Gemini. But it was that hope. What's kept you going is the hope that there will be a new beginning. Something new is going to come out of this. This is the dream, the wish, the star that we follow. This is Nine of Cups and steroids. That's why I always see the Star card. It's where we see our star is still up there. And, the implication is always that the star comes in after the Tower. But everything's gone to shit. But you still have your hope that I can have a new beginning. Well, guess what? I feel like that new beginning is coming in this week. There's an opportunity that comes in this week. It may be you assessing, getting more information on this, trying to figure out what it is, if it's viable for you or not. But we have the perfect person coming up in the present to make that decision. We have the Queen of Swords. She, like the King of Swords, they both have no problem making decisions. They know what's the best path to take, what's the best plan of action. Why? Because she is the heartbreak queen, the divorce queen, the widow queen. She's been through everything. She's been through everything. And it kind of feels like for you guys, that's air energy, right? So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. But it kind of feels for you guys that whatever this break was, and you might not want to come out of it yet. That might be the other thing. Because when I see the Eight of Wands on one side of the Four of Swords and I see the Chariot beneath it, this is telling me that you may still I still need another minute. It could be that, but it's kind of like, let's go. It's time to go now. It's time to do something. It's time to take one of these opportunities. It's time to explore the information that we have available. How do we do that? Well, the Queen of Swords, her advice is very clear. Stand in your truth. Having gone through whatever you went through, and not just bad things, the dreams that you have, whatever you've been doing, it's made you into someone new, and it's time to step it into that new you and hold up your sword high and speak your truth. If you're being asked, and this might be a very specific message for just a few of you, but if you're having a conversation with someone, whether you've known that person forever or whether it's someone new, for a job or someone new that you're getting to know, whatever it is, this is a time when you get to express this new person that you've become, and you are someone new. The Queen of Swords, she will just say her truth. She doesn't care. She's been through so much. It's like, what the hell could happen from me speaking my truth? I've already gone through it. She's not afraid. Damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive, right? And this one, she thrives. She doesn't even just survive. And she expects the truth back. So truth is a big thing here. Speaking the truth, receiving the truth, just saying it. But I kind of get the impression that it's not something difficult. It's not like putting someone in their place. It's more about expressing the truth of how you're feeling, because the Page of Cups comes up here, but I'm skipping the Chariot. So let's get to the Chariot. This is coming up in the future now. If you speak your truth, stand in your truth, come forward authentically. And that sounds really easy. You'll get 9 out of 10 people say they do that, and they don't do that. Being polite is not the truth. More people are concerned with being polite, being nice, doing all of these things. And there is a level of fakery that comes with that, because we don't want to hurt people's feelings, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But the truth isn't always pleasant, and to stand in your truth, it's not always easy. But I kind of feel like whatever you went through, you can't deny your truth anymore. You must speak it. That's the only way forward for you. And that kind of opens up even more opportunities for you here. So with the Chariot, I always see the Chariot as the major arcana version of the 8 of Wands, because this is about speed as well. But this is you. You're in the Chariot. You're taking that Chariot to wherever your destination is. The head and the heart, right? Balance them. Go in the direction that you want to go in. This says this is a victory card. Straight up victory. And we did get that 6 of Wands for you before, right? So this is a victory that comes in for you, but through your own determination and efforts. And I feel like it's whatever this break that you've had, it's brought in fresh ideas, it's brought in fresh knowledge. The thing with the Queen of Swords, why is she so ruthless with her truth? Because she's turned all of her experiences, good, bad, ugly, she's turned them all into knowledge. You have knowledge now. You know how to use this information, these opportunities that are coming in. And you're encouraged to do so with the Chariot. But what's the advice? What is the advice here? The advice is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, there's emotion here. This is coming from a heart space, and we kind of see that lacking everywhere else. But it's now time, whatever that hope was that sustained you for so long. And remember, the past can be last week, last month, last year. Whatever that was, it's time to now speak it. Pages are the messengers. They bring in offers. But I also see the pages as very similar energies to the aces. As in, it's the beginning of something. This is just the initial stages of an emotion. And we look in this guy's cup, and he has a little fish in there. That kind of says to me that there's something here. There's an emotion here that needs to be nurtured, that needs to be grown, that needs to be given attention. And so when you speak your truth, come from a heart space, come from this place of whatever this wish was. Because now you have the knowledge, and you have the kind of almost, I want to say communication skills, if that makes sense. Because we have this massive thing about communication here. To speak how you're feeling. And to speak it confidently. That is your truth. That is your truth. Right, let's get you some oracle cards. So it says, treasure your loved ones. It's important to love others deeply. Now, I'm wondering if this is coming up because you've taken a step back. Trust me, Aquarius sun here, I understand that. I've done that recently myself. We just need to take some time for yourself. Maybe you've done that. So maybe this is not about a specific conversation. This is interacting with people once again. But showing the world, and I talk about this in the outro, showing the world who the new Gemini is. Excuse me, guys. And then here, look, back to what you love. Your current situation is giving you an opportunity to reevaluate what you want. And that's the Page of Cups. That's the heart space. That's emotionally, what is it? What's there? What are you feeling? Because it's time to speak from that place, to come from a place of emotion. You've had a time out. Some of you have had a time out. You might even be coming out of that time out as we enter this week. But it's time to start speaking your truth. I just feel like a new Gemini is being revealed to people here. Why? Now, this may be a question that you're asking, the Queen of Swords, or you may be explaining the why. The why, it's a very important thing. Now, we can drive ourselves nuts trying to figure stuff out. I feel with the Queen of Swords there, you already know the why. And maybe that's why you needed a break, to try to understand what the hell was going on here. But I always say this to people, like, what do you want? Why do you want it? What do you feel? Why do you feel that? So the why is important to understand. But I kind of feel like that's why you needed this time out, to understand the why. You had a dream, you've had like whatever you've gone through, but you've not fully understood the why. And I feel like some of you have been in that. And have a look at this. We have a change in the wind coming in. Now, this is when we can sense things are changing. There's a change in the direction. This is almost like the Tower card, but it's not as drastic. It's more a storm's coming. You kind of feel like a storm is coming. But I don't know. I kind of say this a lot anyway. And I kind of feel it for you. It's almost like you're the storm. Gemini, you are the storm. Because you've had that time out to deal with this. When we look at the tarot, and this is a quick tarot lesson, you know, if you have a look at the Three of Swords, like I said, that's the card before it. But where does the Four of Swords lead? It leads to the Five of Swords. That's that ruthless energy. Why is the person in the Five of Swords willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want? Because they've bloody healed themselves from some great hurt. They got hurt before. They've healed themselves. They've got new, fresh ideas now. And they're like, well, I don't care. I'm going to go for it. And that's the Queen of Swords almost. She's been through so much. She doesn't care. You know, it's not going to hurt her. So some of you, I feel like you are the storm. Because I feel like this is you being brought, you know, I don't want to say exposing yourself to other people, because that sounds kind of, that sounds kind of perverted. But I mean, as in revealing your ideas, how you communicate, what you think now. There's a new you that's coming out. Right, let's get you a postcard from Spirit. It says, dear you, it might be hard to believe you'll ever get to where you want to go, feel the way you want to feel, and find peace and security, but you can. There's lots to celebrate in this life, but first you need to let go of this attachment to achieving certain results. It's easy to get caught in the endless loop of wanting this or that so you can feel safe. The only way out is to surrender the attachment, empty yourself so you can be filled with something new. And I kind of feel like for you guys, the emptying yourself part is, you'll see how you truly feel when you do that. Where was I? The compulsion will be lifted and peace will come. Trust that something better waits, that something new will open up and you will see new opportunities for fulfillment. That is this. The truth is, whenever you get into the loop, what you are really looking for is spirit. That connection is where the power, the peace, and the purpose lies. Everything else follows after that. Give yourself a hug. We've got you. Loving you so much. And it is. That's what it is. This is new. And I kind of feel like it's coming in after a very stagnant period. Whether that was self-imposed, whether that was, you know, done to you, like you got let go of a job, you had a breakup, whatever it was, the separation, or you decided to take some time out, take a step back. Now the opportunities are coming in, and it may be hard to believe, but you know, there's a new you here, a new truth, and it's about stepping in. This is the week of understanding who the new you is. Who the new you is. And then you can get in that chariot and take it. And you come from a heart place. As long as you come from a heart place, look at how you're truly feeling about this. You know, there's amazing things that can come in.